And so, my friends, it is with humility, determination, and boundless confidence in America's promise that I accept your nomination for President of the United States.
Well, we've just seen the most important moment of this Democratic Party convention, the moment where Hillary Clinton made her acceptance speech and also attempted to define herself to the American people, to make her pitch to the American people. And there were several key elements to that. The first was the personal. Mrs. Clinton has a problem. Only about 34% of the American public have a positive view of her. So even though they know her quite well, she had to start the task of redefining herself as a likable personality, as somebody they can associate with. She defined herself as somebody who come back from her father was a military officer and who cared most of all about families and about children, and that was the defining theme, if you like, of her life. And it was packaged very nicely. There was a good film to go with it. Whether it does the job of turning around her personal ratings, I slightly doubt. But then there was the political element, and there was two bits to that. The first was a very direct and repetitive attack on Donald Trump. More direct, I think, an assault on the character of the opponent than I've seen really in many other nominating speeches. But that's in a way appropriate because Donald Trump is an incredibly divisive figure, and Hillary Clinton attempted to sow doubts about his personality, about his fitness to be the American president. And in one particularly memorable line, she said that a person who can be baited by a tweet is not a man who should be in charge of nuclear weapons. Essentially, she portrayed herself as a steady, calm person, Trump as a volatile egotist who is too dangerous to put in charge of American national security. But she was also well aware that she had to make a positive pitch for what she would do as president. And she had aimed that very squarely at the economic concerns of the middle and working class Americans whose incomes have been stagnating by all accounts for 15, 20 years and who've done particularly badly since the financial crisis of 2008. She pledged to start what would be the biggest job creation program in living memory in her first 100 days in office. And unless people were skeptical about that, she said she was willing to spend the money, and in a direct populist pitch, which I think borrowed very heavily from the highly successful campaign of Bernie Sanders, her main opponent for the Democratic nomination, she said that she would go after the rich. She said she would go after the banks, she would go after Wall Street. That is not the kind of language, the sort of centrist language that Hillary Clinton has been associated with in the past, but she's now pitching very much more to the left, to the populist left, and I think she is hoping that that will rally the Democratic Party base and convince them that, yes, despite her long record in Democratic politics, she is the woman who can deliver real economic change. This is Gideon Rachman at the Democratic Convention in Philadelphia.